Wi-Fi out. Oh, that's my headline. And again, the reason why I wanted to bring Xhekaj up was primarily because of I think the manner with which he's been treated. I understand what the organization is trying to do, and they did send him down to Laval to get that conditioning after his injury, and he stayed down a number of games. It took him a while to get acclimatized there, and he did a good job. I think he was also helpful to Mailu as well. It's definitely something you want to see happen, but what you don't want to see happen, and this is the part that sort of has me a bit irritated, is it appears right now that the organization, for whatever reason, has made him sort of the black sheep in the family, and that part really irks me. Like, if you're going to bring him up, I think that it's essential that you continue with his development, and that means he gets some ice time. Like, for him to come up and all of a sudden we highlight what his errors were defensively, or maybe that he took a bad penalty. I don't think he really made a bad play defensively, except for the fact that he had one bad penalty. And others around him are doing just as poorly in terms of either bad passing or not totally forechecking when they should be, and others are taking bad penalties at critical times in the game. And yet the one we highlight is always Xhekaj. I think that that's wrong. If you want to send them down, I'm fine with that, no problem. I think that maybe till the end of the year, that's what happens. He goes down there, he gets some more conditioning, he builds up his confidence a little bit more. But the worst thing you could do is ask somebody to be who they're not necessarily. I guess the reason why I wanted to bring all of this up is because I think we have a little bit of our definitions maybe confused. And when we say he's a physical player, I don't necessarily mean that he's a fighter. I mean, obviously he has that in his repertoire as well, if needed. And I think he's exercised good judgment in that regard. He hasn't done anything that sort of merits anything negative there. But being a physical player means that you're taking the body, you're completing a check, you're making sure that you clear in front of the net for your goaltender when somebody parks themselves there, and those things are critical to a team. If you want to have a core of defensemen that are not only strong but are physical, then you need that. Like we were talking about, what teams that have gone to the Cup have had physical players. Well, look at guys like uh, last year with Vegas. I thought that they were all physical. That doesn't mean that they had to fight. It means that they let you know about their presence in front of the net. When Montreal was successful and they went to the Stanley Cup Finals about 3 years ago, what was it? It was the key four players, right? You had Weber, you had Edmondson, you had uh, these guys that Sherratt and Petrie, and they were being physical. They're big guys that take care of their area. They clear pucks out of the way. They make sure that there's no way that somebody's going to get a second or third opportunity to score on that. So for me, I thought, you know what, let's stop with the picking on Jack. I don't think it's right. Now we're by doing that, I'm not saying that he's an all-star or he's a superstar. There's a lot of growth still to be had here, but he has to be given that opportunity to get to that stage. And right now, I'm not seeing it. So if he's not going to get it in Montreal, let's send him down to Laval, and hopefully he'll get it there. But I don't think that this guy is a guy that needs to be traded, because there was a lot of talk and speculation about, hey, let's trade him. Why not? And again, let me preface that by saying, of course, if a team comes along and says, I'm going to give you a top 5 pick here for Xhekaj, I mean, you'd be silly not to entertain it, right? But for a team that is cup bound or is going to be successful in the playoffs, and they offer you a first for him, and it's going to be like the 28th or 29th pick in the overall in the league, I say it's not worth it because we don't know yet what the ceiling on Xhekaj is, and these kind of players don't come along too often. If he was truly bad, then not many teams would be inquiring about him. And that was really my only point that I wanted to bring out from here. I hopefully we can end this whole Wi-Fi problem right now and leave it as it is, because it's a young core. I look today, coach, and we are the youngest defensive core in the league. So of course these players are going to be making mistakes. That's part of the development. It's part of their growth. We have to be patient with all of them, not just the ones that we deem they were drafted in the first round like a Gooley, so we need to be patient with him. But because Xhekaj wasn't a drafted player, then we can throw him to the sheep here, or to the wolves. It just, I don't know, it just bothered me, and I wanted to bring that up tonight, and that's it.
I will going to give you the other side of how I see that, Mr. Enortap. When I see that, first of all, that mega or that Xhekaj versus Martin St. Louis, this is just bigger what he is right now. It's not big allowed between Martin St. Louis and Xhekaj. It's very low. It's just the social media and the fans and the reporter put this bigger what they are supposed to be. Xhekaj was come back with the Montreal game for one reason. It was against Ottawa Senator. In case something could
Mm-hmm.
happen, that's the only reason he was played. Now, two of these three penalty, Mr. Tap, are interference. When you create interference, is because you hit someone without no puck. The only defense penalty he got, ice stick, he got beat at the blue line. He tended to come back checking, and he used his stick. It's not like he wanted to do that, right? It's just like a unlucky play, but because he got beat, he got that ice stick. So I don't defend him. I just show you the three penalty he got during the time. Bad timing, switch the momentum. The team come back, opponent team, it create bigger what it is. By the end, is a mistake by young players play at 20 what? 22 years old now he is. So I think Xhekaj right there, right?
20,
And
23, yeah.
he's always been the junior compared to NC like Arias and Strobel. The second thing I would say to you, Mr. Tap, the Montreal Canadiens does not like to let a young defenseman on the healthy scratch many games. Arias was out for 3 games, the last 3 games. So they bring him back. If he play like Xhekaj, all right, is a third pairing, consider what? Defense number 6, 5, 6, 7, we can say, or he's not the top
Yeah.
pairing for Montreal Canadiens
No,
at that moment. Does it
no,
make sense? All right. Let's go
absolutely.
back forward. If Pesada make a mistake or Ilonen make a mistake at the 4 line, but they are the player like Xhekaj, easy to remove in your lineup because you can bring someone else and they was not make a big impact. Like if you bench Caden Cooley, like he take the penalty last game during the game. Now you remove your best first pairing defenseman who have a great game against Pittsburgh. It can bring you to team to the next level at any moment. It's like Cole Caulfield make a bad penalty during the game versus like Brendan Gallagher example. But you can bench Brendan Gallagher or you can let him on the bench, but you cannot, if you trail by 1 goal and say, you know what, because Cole Caulfield make a bad penalty, we're going to remove him. We're going to bring back Pesada or your bottom 6 Armia to try to tie the game. The reason why they go with Xhekaj not in the lineup, but Pittsburgh is not a physical team. Second thing, that we give more reps for Iris. And thirdly, but maybe send a message to a little bit at Xhekaj. So look, you have to learn to be undisciplined during the game. You did that before that. You come back again. You repeat again. So it's again. I'm sure Martin we talked to him, explained to him the reason why he was just held to scratch. But when you reach Mr. Tap, when you talk about Petrie, Weber, Chariot, and Edmondson, for me, you're right. But for me right now, Xhekaj is not there yet to play that role. If he was with Montreal Canadiens, Mr. Tap, he would not be a part of that because he's
Yeah,
not that kind of player
it's
yet. He's not there yet. He's not that
yes, I
kind of player he
agree. I
can do
agree
that.
with that.
Yeah,
but
no.
he needs the opportunity to play. That's my only point.
So what he need to improve is really his adjustment to the game, right? His first pass is not there. He's very behind. Like many times, we said the percentage is not there. His physicality is there, but still because he have a lack of a speed, not because he cannot skate. His lack of speed is it's a lack of reaction, anticipation, cap control, box out. All the different things, the details of the game is not still there. He need to improve that part of it. And because we don't know the ceiling of Xhekaj, and we don't know the ceiling
That's
of
it.
Cooley, we don't know the ceiling of Hudson, Angstrom, everybody like that. You cannot trade Arber Xhekaj right now. You cannot trade any
No, no.
defenseman who they are at that moment. And
Thank you to watching another Habs Nation video. But before we leave, we invite you, don't forget to click on the like, subscribe to the channel, and finally let us a comment about this video. And remember, you have greatness inside of you, and we wishes you an amazing, great, and blessing day.